Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. You join me down at the storage yard and in a bit we're going to be getting ready to go away. But today's video is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. If you've been watching the channel over the last few years, you'll know that I've always advocated for a cover for your caravan when you're towing. In fact, we've reviewed two of the top manufacturers' covers over this period. So it got me thinking, are the cheaper ones just as good? And can you save some money? And will it do the same job as one of the two leading manufacturers? So today we're going to be taking a look at a cover which I've purchased for the channel for less than £50. In fact, it was £35. So is it going to be any good? Let's see what we've bought. So we've bought an Olpro cover. This is one that I purchased direct from the company. Like I said, it cost £35. May go up in price, they do vary. And there is lots of them on the market that are under 50 quid. But having read some of the reviews from customers, I wasn't quite impressed with some of the others, basically because the straps that retain the sides of the towing cover actually mark the Caravans. So this one I spotted, and what drew me to this in particular is because the straps actually go over the front of the cover and not on the side of the van. Certainly in the case of a standard width 7'6" Caravan like mine. Let's get it out of the box, let's see what we get. So taking a look at the box itself, we've got Caravan towing cover, fits both 7'6" and 8 foot wide Caravans. That's going to be interesting. A universal cut towing cover that protects your caravan from dirt, debris whilst towing. It claims that it's a breathable cover, water resistant and optimised to fit. So let's get it out of the box and see what the quality's like. So removing the cover from the box, it comes in this rather handy little drawstring bag, company logo on the side, nylon drawstring. Now before I open it up, I also found these inside. There's 12 black clips. Let's just take one out so that we can show you. Now I don't really have much of a clue at this moment in time what they're for. I'm guessing they may be clips to secure the bottom of the cover to the bottom valance of the Caravan, but I could be wrong. Hopefully all will become apparent later on. Again, like I say, there's no instructions, so we can't identify these straight away. So out of its bag now, we've got the cover itself, and yes, I was right, it's the same material as the bag itself, which most manufacturers do this. It cuts on cost, and it gives you an idea of what you're buying as well. Okay, so let's just quickly open it up. Now here we have two boxes. Now I know what's in these. These are LED lights. Now I have two reasons why I wouldn't use these, which I'll explain more in the video later, but they're not the best quality and they are a bit of a faff actually to undo and fit your lights on. In fact, when I tested it off camera it fell apart, but I managed to put it back together. So yeah, so it takes 3 AAA batteries per light and you have 2 of them. But like I say, I'll be discarding these, I won't be using them for the reasons I'll explain later. So put them on one side. We've got one of the clips, that adjustable straps. The stitching on this is very good actually, it's not too bad. I've seen far worse quality, so yeah, quite happy with that. Now on the other side we've got this plastic, it's velcroed as well. It's a plastic housing which is designed really for those lights, but again, like I say, we're not using the lights, but more about that later. I think the best thing we can do with this really is go and take it outside, put it on the Caravan, see if it fits and see what it's like when it's actually in situ. So let's do that now. Okay, so one of the main key tips that I can give you if you're using a towing cover of any description or manufacturer is first of all the preparation. And the preparation is this, it's very simple. Make sure the front of the Caravan is clean and free from grit before you put the actual cover on. So what I'm going to do now is dry mine off because it's a little wet and I don't want to get wet while I'm doing this video, and I'll come back to you in a moment. Okay, so I've dried off the front of the Caravan suitably, happy with it now, and I'm going to fit the towing cover to the Caravan. Now, this cover is designed to fit in both awning rails on either side, and through the inserts that are slightly wider. You'll have to check out on your Caravan where they are. I'm lucky I've got one at the top and I've got one at the bottom, so I can take my pick. Now, the best thing you can do is rest it on your A-frame so it doesn't get dirty. Then establish the two sides and then start to look for the tabs, which are here, and you insert them. So I'm going to start doing that now. So what I'm going to do both sides of the top one, and I've chosen the bottom opening in order to do this. Now, if it's a little bit on the tight side, you can adjust the straps, which I'll show you in a moment. But I seem to be doing quite well with this. I've got all mine in on one side, and I'll swap to the other side in a moment. So that's one side done. And now we'll start on the other side. Okay, so we've inserted all the tabs and we're going to pull it upwards. Now, once I've got it to a suitable level, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust these tabs slightly. Like so. We start to pull it tight. Now, it might be a case of just adjusting these until you get them to where you're happy with them. Looks a little puckered on this side, but we're going to tuck that in now. And we've also got these adjustable straps at the bottom. And there's also one here, which we're going to pass underneath the A-frame and tighten up. There's quite a lot of excess play on this, so you might want to tuck this in. So what I'm doing now is just neatening it up, really. It is a little bit bigger for my van. It probably would fit an 8 foot wide, probably a lot better. There's one thing I have noticed on it, which I'll mention in a moment, but we'll come to that in a sec. Okay, so we've got it fitted. It's okay. It could be better, and that could be just me, how I fitted it. But I would imagine this, with the excess material, this would probably be better on an 8-foot wide caravan than it would be on a 7-foot, 6-foot wide caravan like this one. I said there's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't use the running lights that are provided. And the first one is, once you've put them in there and this starts to move around, even though it feels tight at the moment, they're going to bang on here and they could cause damage to the actual caravan bodywork. So that's one thing that I would recommend that you probably avoid. And the second thing is the law, the legislation. If you actually have a trailer which is over 1.6 meters, it requires running lights, front and rear. And those rear lights and front lights need to be controlled from within inside the towing vehicle. And with these being a standalone item, they don't meet legislation. Earlier on, when we did the unboxing, I mentioned some clips and I was trying to figure out what these were for, and I thought they were for down here, but they're not actually. What they're designed for is they insert into the strapping area here and they hold back the excess strap. But what I would advise you do is just tuck them in, because I can't see them actually staying on the vehicle for long. Well folks, that was the Olpro towing cover. I've got quite a few things that I'd like to mention about this as to what I think. So I'm going to start with the points that I feel that if they were slightly tweaked could make this cover really good, and perhaps for an extra tenner it would be definitely worthwhile, or even 50 quid, because the simple tweaks will cost the manufacturer money to do so. So let's discuss them now. We have an issue slightly here as the actual cover itself doesn't reach the bottom of the valance. Now I did mention that the tab on either side of at the base, if it was raised up just ever so slightly, perhaps by about 3-4 inches, it would allow the rest of the material to come down further and perhaps tuck underneath the valance itself, which would make it a better fit. The other thing is the lack of visibility of our standard towing running lights. This idea, I can get why they did it, but a better alternative would be perhaps to put a polyurethane section in the bottom corners so that we can use our current towing lights. The quality of this is really good. I like the material. I like the fact that the straps and the actual cover itself is very well stitched together. The clips are very good quality, they're not weak, and they're not going to break. So the product's almost there in my opinion, other than the fact that it could just do with them few tweaks. But for 35 quid, I know what I'd rather have, one of these against nothing. So it's your choice. If you would like to know more about them, I'll leave a link to Olpro's website. I'm not affiliated to them, but it's nice to help out a UK company. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you'll join us again real soon, but in the meantime, bye for now.